Hello everyone, and today I'm going to talk to you about 3 reasons on why you should get a coach in whatever video game you're playing right now. This applies to literally any competitive video games, be it League of Legends, Rocket League, TFT, Counter-Strike, and obviously a lot more. The list goes on and on and on. Getting a coach will prevent you from plateauing. It will make you climb the ranks much faster and overall just make you a better player. So very quickly, here's the 3 reasons. 1. You get another perspective, just an objective opinion. Getting a second opinion is always useful. Second, a coach is basically access to knowledge you don't have. You might be a very good player, but it's almost impossible that you know everything about the game. And third, they're going to be great at identifying like your strengths and weaknesses and also structure a plan on how to get better. And I think this is this third one that actually helps you the most. Now let's dive a bit deeper. So what do I mean by getting another point of view that is objective? Even if you make VOD review, let's assume you're a player that actually reviews your game, which from my experience of almost any single player that I've coached, almost none of them used to do that, which is absolutely astounding because reviewing your VODs is probably the best way to actually improve fast in any video games. But no matter the point, let's assume you do it because you really want to get better, right? You're not going to focus objectively on the facts. It's impossible. Objectively focusing on yourself is just impossible. Sometimes you will find excuses of why you did this mistake, of why you didn't go for that play. But having a second opinion, and this basically applies, like if you can just get a friend to get a VOD review, this also helps. But just getting a second opinion that will be removed from the emotions of that game will definitely help you identify which mistakes were made and which one can you fix actually, which one matters. Is going to be able to point where you should focus, and it will make VOD reviews a lot more effective. Now to my second point. A coach will usually be very knowledgeable about the game they're coaching, right? That's the whole point of being a coach. If they don't know the game, then obviously they're a bad coach. But let's say you're a League of Legends top lane player. Let's take that for example. You won't know all the intricacies of the bot lane. It's impossible. League of Legends is just a game that is too complex to know every single role perfectly. If you know every role perfectly, then you're basically a god amongst players. So your coach will probably have a better understanding of the whole picture and a better understanding of other roles in some cases. So while you may wonder why you didn't get ganked at this point in the game, maybe the coach will be able to tell you, well, if the jungler comes there, it basically gives a free dragon to the other team. That's just a small example, but it applies to any single game. When you talk about Rocket League, some players just don't know certain mechanics. It's part of the game. They don't know you can flip reset, or they don't know you can half flip. Even great players. Usually when I talk about players getting coached, I will assume they have a certain knowledge. Obviously turbo beginners won't have a lot of knowledge, so it's really easy to help them in those cases. But even the players that have achieved the higher ranks won't know everything. It's impossible. So having access to someone who knows the blind spot on the Summoner's Rift, or knows all the nade spot in Counter-Strike, or knows where you should be positioned in Rocket League will be tremendously helpful for your base of knowledge. So your toolkit is actually bigger. If you watch me, I talk a lot about tools and toolkits, because I think a lot of the games is the more options you have, the stronger of a player you are, and the harder it is to play against you. And finally, and I think this is the most important point, they will be able to identify your strengths and weaknesses objectively, and then work on a structure to actually improve in the places where you maybe lack skills or knowledge or whatever. A lot of the times, players don't like to practice what they're not good at. It's not fun, right? They will focus on things they're already good at. Let's take, for example, Rocket League. If you're a good shooter and you spend all your time practicing just bangers on net, you're not actually improving. You're focusing on the one thing you're good at. You need to improve on your defense. You need to improve on your ground dribbles. Let's take League of Legends, for example. Maybe your laning phase is great. You win your lane in like 70% of the time. Yet as soon as it comes down to team fight, you start to lose and then you complain because I won the lane, but I lost the game and it sucks, you know? But there's probably something there that you don't understand. Maybe your macro needs to be worked on. And that is the one single thing I think I provide the most values to the players I coach is the structure. All right, we know you're weak in these 3 spots. Here's a plan to focus on specifically those 3 spots so you can grow as a player and basically slowly but surely remove the weaknesses you have and be a better all-around player. That's usually the goal, right? So for an example, if I have a Rocket League player that has problems with ground dribbles, obviously I'm gonna push him towards the dribbling challenge, you know, the workshops that focuses on specifically that. If I had players that actually had good macro but can't CS for shit, then you're gonna go into practice tool, man, and you're gonna give me some reps of simply farming waves on waves on waves on waves. There's no secret in improving. You simply need a structure, and having a coach that, let's say you see once a week or once a month, will give you that little bit of structure that you probably need to get up from that plateau, get out of it, get out of a slump. And it's going to force you to focus on things you maybe normally would not. And in this video, I went really quickly on getting another point of view that is basically objective, but I'm going to give you a 4th reason, just a quick one, and it's to actually have like efficient VOD review. We touched that a little bit at the start of the video, but a lot of players don't know how to review their games, and I've seen it time and time and time again. I always try to make this exercise with my new players, and I tell them, all right, pull out a replay and review it. We'll watch what happens. A lot of the times they're good at identifying like where they made mistakes. But the problem from what I've seen is then they move on and they go to like the next mistake and the next mistakes. But that's not how you do a proper VOD review. If you simply point out mistakes, it's basically useless. All right, we've seen you made a mistakes at that point of the game. Now, how do we fix it? What's the environment that actually caused the mistake, right? You need to have great pattern recognition. The next time you're going to be in this position, watch carefully what happened, what led to that mistake, so you can try to avoid it next time. And if you want to avoid this mistake, what's the plan now? You know, you have to dig deeper. You have to just go a bit more in depth and look at how you fix that mistake. And usually having someone with you that's going to stop you and that's going to force you to think, and you have debates, which happens, you know, if your coach is only sitting here and telling you, oh, you need to do this and you need to do this, and there's no space for discussion, it's probably a bad coach, right? In a lot of cases, speaking with the players or speaking with a coach is very important. They need to make you understand the mistake and make you think about just a bit deeper, just really sitting down and actually think about the game, not being on autopilot. So it's pretty simple. Those are my reasons for why you should get a coach to get better at whatever game you play and reach that top 1%. I hope you liked it, and subscribe for more esports content.